Hey guys, happy Saturday morning to you. This is Bill or Billboard. I have a snake channel too. It's all about snakes. If you guys want to check that out, if you love snakes or if you like getting creeped out by them, it's what is that? Billboard 1967 on YouTube. But that's not what I'm here to talk to you guys about today. I got a message on Facebook the other night, I think 2 nights ago, from a buddy of mine that I grew up with. We were both punk rock kids together in the 80s, lived in this like punk rock crash house. It was out of control. And but this guy was a little bit different than most guys. He was not that most people aren't intelligent, but this guy was really intelligent. He was an avid reader. He was a great thinker, and just a guy that I had a lot of respect for back then. When back in those days I didn't really have too much respect for anybody. I was such a punk kid. But haven't really talked to this guy too much in like 20 years. And he contacted me on Facebook the other night and said, hey, it was great to see that video. It was some video of being in a band back in the day. Great vocal talent, which I don't know. I don't really think I had that. Nevertheless, he goes, hey man, I'm really struggling with my sobriety. He goes, I still write well. I guess he's a writer, but I just feel like my life is empty. And when I read that, I'm thinking, wow, man, I know that emptiness feeling, and that life is empty, and what is this thing all about? And I remember feeling that way at times. I also have an idea on what that is and what we can do to alleviate that empty feeling. And there's a book that I like to read. Some people call it the big book. This one's really little. But you know, if you don't know what I'm talking about, you can find out. It's not too hard. But in there, there's a chapter called There Is a Solution. And the solution that they're talking about is what's called a vital spiritual experience. And that empty feeling, I think, is what we get when we try to take away however we've been self-medicating, whether it be drugs or eating or alcohol or sex. You know, all these things that we're throwing into this hole. And we stop doing that, and we have this empty feeling because, you know, the little square peg isn't fitting. It never fit before, but it's really not fitting now because we're not trying to shove it in there. And I believe what most of us lack when we find ourselves in that situation is a vital spiritual experience. So I don't know if my friend's going to contact me again. I reached out to him. Maybe he'll see this video, maybe he won't. But I really believe that what we need is to quit relying on ourselves and our minds and our egos and search out a vital spiritual experience. And I know you guys, I'm sitting in my bus. I actually have incense burning because my wife doesn't like smoke. It messes her up. And so for the past 3 or 4 years, I don't burn incense. And I'm not a hippie. You know, I identify more with the punk rock nonconformist kind of thing. I don't know, I did that for years. But yeah, I drive a 67 bus and I burn incense. So I know I seem hippie-like, but I'm not really a hippie. But the whole spiritual thing, the vital spiritual experience, I think is when we feel that empty feeling. That's what we need. What I believe that thing is called, and I didn't make this up, is it's a God hole. You know, we shove food and drugs and sex and alcohol and gambling and blah, 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 blah inside this emptiness that we feel. And that's the God hole. And the only thing that's going to fit in there is God. And if God for you is you know, practicing in yoga or the consciousness or awareness of your group, or, you know, if it's Buddha or Allah or Heavenly Father or the universe, whatever it is, I believe that to fill that emptiness that we feel inside us, that's what's going to work. It's God's going to go in that God hole. The vital spiritual experience, I believe, is what's going to help take that empty feeling away. And I know it's difficult for a lot of people, but try it. You know, if you believe in science, try it as a scientific experiment. Seek out a vital spiritual experience. Try it out and see what happens. See if that seed starts to grow. See if it starts to swell inside your heart and your spirit, and you feel it. You feel this feeling. You go, you know what? I feel it. It feels good. I'm going to give it more of what I believe it needs. prayer, meditation, walks on the beach, walk in the forest. Vital spiritual experience is what I believe, in my opinion, is going to fill that emptiness that we feel within. You guys have a great Saturday. Have a rockin' Southern California weekend. If you're not in Southern California, I'm sorry, but I'm glad. Anyway, you guys, have a good weekend. Like my channel. It's Townsend Realization Road Trip. You can imagine you're in a Volkswagen bus with incense sitting right next to the beach waiting to go to a self-help meeting. Okay, you guys, I love you all. Have a good weekend. Bye.